So we've received a new gameplay video from the developers for the Dead Rising remake / remaster, whatever you'd like to call it, and they showcase quite a lot of new gameplay in this video that we haven't seen yet. One of the noteworthy additions from this video is the fact that all of the dialogue is now fully voice acted. So previously, if you received a phone call from Otis or you spoke to a lot of survivors, you would just see text on screen for their dialogue, but now all of it is voiced. I think that is a huge improvement actually, because in the original game we only had dialogue for cutscenes and for boss battles and things like that. Speaking of the dialogue, all of the voice actors have been replaced for this remaster, and we've already had a glimpse of what Frank's voice sounds like. The replacement voice actor for Frank West, I'm still not fully sold on him from what we've heard, but I will give him a chance for when we actually see the rest of the game. The new gameplay showcases the overhauled design of Paradise Plaza, and they've gone for sort of like a beachfront kind of thing. They've got jellyfish floating on the ceiling. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It looks a bit odd, but it mostly looks the same as it did in the original, but it does have that kind of like seaside, beachfront kind of vibe to it. Not sure exactly what they're going for there. It looks nice, but I prefer the look of the original. It's more of a typical looking shopping mall, which is the point of the original game, just to be a very normal location like a shopping mall. That's of course a personal preference thing, but sometimes less is more. So for this next point, it hasn't been shown in the gameplay video, but it has been confirmed by the developers. The erotica genre for photographs has been completely removed from the game. So in the original game of Dead Rising, if you take photographs, they fall under the following categories: brutality, drama, erotica, horror, and outtake. And depending on what is happening in the image, it will fall under one of these categories. Now, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but it does technically remove a gameplay feature from the game, because a gameplay mechanic in the original for the photography minigame was to capture those types of images. There was a very small mission in the original game where you were requested to take photographs of one of the survivors named Cheryl. So I believe this mission will be removed due to the removal of the erotica genre of photographs. If you really think about it, you will technically get less points for photographs now due to the removal of a genre. So I wonder if Capcom will add a new genre in its place, or if they will do something else entirely for the photographs. But regardless of your stance on this, whether you are for or against it, it is technically removing content and gameplay that was present in the original. This doesn't massively affect the game, but it is a change to the photography minigame. Something a lot of people were concerned about for the game was the soundtrack, but have no fear because the game's original soundtrack is fully intact. We've had it confirmed in this gameplay video that Gone Guru is present, but other songs such as Fly Routine are going to be in the game as well, and the shopping mall music that you hear when you're walking around the general shopping mall. The boss battle music for the Psychopaths is full of nu metal and groove metal riffs, and we need to keep all of that intact because that is a huge part of the identity of Dead Rising. It wouldn't feel the same without these like brutal metal riffs when you're fighting against all these different bosses. There appear to have been changes made to the UI as well. In the pause menu you can see like a 3D render of Frank, so you can see what your character version of Frank currently looks like, which I think looks really cool actually. In general, the UI and the interface looks better in the remaster in my opinion. We had already seen what the map screen looked like in previous gameplay, but now we have a clear indication of weapon durability, and we have a clear indication of what Frank looks like in the pause menu as well, so I think these are really good visual indicators. Speaking of what Frank looks like, they have now added a wardrobe function, which is awesome. Customization is a big fun part of the game. It is for all of the Dead Rising games, and you can now have a wardrobe which stores every single piece of clothing that you have located around the shopping mall. I think this is pretty awesome. I really like this because in the original game, if you wanted to change into something specific, you would have to run over to the place and you'd have to find where the shop was, and you would have to go there each time you wanted to change or swap out clothing. But now you have everything in one place, and I think this is a massive improvement actually. There's also a bunch of new costumes and outfits, such as Chuck Green's jacket from Dead Rising 2, the original 2006 character model for Frank, and the bee mascot of the mall, as you can see here. Now, all of these are, I believe, pre-order bonuses, so you will have to buy the Deluxe edition or pre-order the game, and I'm not hugely fond of that. It feels like this content should be in the game without needing additional costs, but there we go, you can't have everything. We briefly get to take a look at the Escaped Convicts boss battle in this video, and I can only assume that the AI has been significantly improved for this boss battle, because the AI, being as broken and flawed as it is in the original Dead Rising, allowed you to exploit the game. For example, the convicts in the original game would often crash into trees or other obstacles, making it very easy for the player to go over and kill them. I assume that the convicts will be much more difficult to kill now, with greatly improved navigation and AI. And that's about it for the new updates we have for the Dead Rising Remaster. I'm going to keep calling it a remake because it looks more of a remake than a remaster. What do you guys think of the changes that are present in this video? Do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. That's all from me. Brett out.